All right, we're back. Hello.
Hello, Dream.
Hello. Okay, so if we're good to go and everyone is ready, then we shall start the next session. Oh, session 50. No, session 49. Almost, we're 20 away from the holy number. So,
Just got to keep going.
Exactly,
well,
yeah.
Not 20 sessions from nice.
That will be the session Naruzatar turns himself into a pickle. It will be the funniest shit I've ever seen. Okay. Alright, so we're good to go. Yeah? Alright. So then, in that case, last we left off, you had obviously stopped Pietro from taking over, his first step in taking over the world, and you made arrangements to deal with, people. What happened last session? Okay, so you spoke to Mereth after she had been captured by Badran. Not captured, betrayed by Badran. And you discovered that Naruzatar must have discovered her plans on sort of organising some sort of coup d'état in which Naruzatar would be overthrown by the High Ministry of Carnea, and a new sort of less tyrannical leader might be chosen. Probably just as evil, but not immediately as evil. And so Mereth had some things that she wanted from you, which was an agreement that if she works for you in helping to overthrow Naruzatar, she would be considered free at the end of it. She'll be working for her freedom, effectively, as some sort of independent contractor. You deliberated amongst this and came to an agreement between Wolfram and the Tempest brand, who are also deliberating on these things. And when we last left off, you were talking... you were sort of talking about maybe going and visiting some of these places, but that had these storms that descended on these cities. But ultimately speaking, it's your choice where you want to be. When did we finish? I think you had just spoken to Wolfram, if I remember correctly. So, but as you've got a sort of brief moment to yourselves, as you sort of collect your bearings and meet back up at the wherever you're staying, what would you like to do?
Yeah, I think we also kind of talked about actually taking the invitation and going to Carnea.
I think we were doing that last. Were we? Or...
I'm not sure we had a plan for ordering of things.
I mean, like, I just assumed because all the other things were closer.
Well, I mean, we have a few weeks, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have plenty of time to sort of decide what you want to do. It's not until the Summer Change Festival where you really have to do anything, and that is 18 days away. So, Matthew's back. Hello. Yeah. So, what do you feel like doing?
I mean, didn't we also get the teleportation circle stuff written down?
Oh.
Oh yeah, I didn't send that to you in the end. Basically, on this map, anything that has a circle with a circle inside it is where you'd have a teleportation circle to.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Plus any extras that we happen to have.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
All right. So we could visit these places that have had the statues. I'm not sure what good it will do. It means possible we could deactivate the statues. We don't know what the statues actually do, but I feel like if we literally just don't ever even go there and it turns out, we can just flip a little lever on the back and it's all good, then we'll feel a bit stupid.
I feel like they wouldn't have made it that easy. Or maybe they did, thinking that we would think it's too easy, and that we'd never even try it. Maybe there's just a big on and off switch.
Yes, but imagine we go through some massive toil, and it turns out all that we needed was a day trip to Darkbridge.
I mean, to be fair, there is a statue in VL.
That's true.
We could see if there's an off switch.
I mean, we could maybe... I mean, there's probably not, but yeah, we might as well look. We give them an inspection. Due diligence and all that.
Yeah, I suppose that makes sense. Would be a pain in the ass if we went through a lot of effort and all we thought to do was just, turn a switch.
Also, I'm thinking maybe there'll be some kind of local folklore somewhere about the statues. That way we could know more about what exactly the storms are after. Usually something big happens, which I assume is related to these statues. Usually something big happens and people like to remember that in their little storybooks, right?
Yeah.
I'm curious as well. Why the need for the storms?
I feel like our friend here could probably answer that more than we could. Since he loves the storm so much.
Oh,
Well, that's
storm.
true.
Oh,
Storm.
really? He hadn't mentioned storms before. You have some affinity with them?
I'm feeling right. You haven't mentioned them in like the last 10 minutes.
I honestly haven't seen a storm since I entered Var many years ago, so this is all quite a surprise to me too. Trust me, I don't like to talk about it much. That's a lie.
Really? That is a lie.
That is... we need to teach how to lie better. Like,
He
you can't
definitely needs
just
to
break down.
He definitely needs to do a deception check on that one.
Well, from what I remember, when you lie, you say you lied after the lie.
Not like right after, not always.
No,
Sorry,
definitely not.
I'm sorry. I think you might be confusing a lie with a joke.
No, I'm no.
So, just when you lie to someone, you try to make them believe something. When you
That's the point of a lie.
when you joke to someone, you might say something that's untrue and then say, haha, just kidding, or that was a lie.
I'm not sure.
Kira,
Is
tell
it
us
like
a
a
lie.
Dragonborn thing?
Well, maybe.
Okay, let's just find out.
I
Kira,
haven't
tell us a joke. Tell us a joke, Kira.
The chicken.
Very funny.
Ah, good one.
Is that
The classic, the chicken.
I'm pretty sure at this point in a joke, people are supposed to interject.
What? No.
I
no.
did the chicken
wait,
cross the end. When
the
somebody
chicken
would
who?
say why is the person.
You just said
the
the
cross end.
chicken. You just said the chicken. You didn't.
who's there?
I'm well done. That's correct. And the answer to it is to drink the ale.
Wow.
Wow.
Funniest shit I've ever heard.
I know,
Why
right?
did the chicken turn into a pickle?
Oh God.
Funniest shit I've
Well,
ever
was that not funny?
That was amusing. Thank you, my
Good.
dear friend.
On to slightly more important orders. Shall we go and maybe visit the? Well, I assume we'd probably be able to actually visit it now. We were blocked from looking at it before.
Which places were we going to again?
Well, there were these statues. There was one in Viel itself, where we are. There's one in Darkbridge, one in Rexony, and one in Deed. Obviously, the one in Viel is closest. It makes sense to go there first. Most recent as well, 'cause it's more likely to see the signs of what was actually done to it.
Isn't the one in VL the one we were at the other day?
Sorry, this is Viel.
Yes, I know.
Yes.
Well, I'm pretty sure we're not allowed in there.
Well, we weren't. But then you remember we had the conversation with
Oh, yes,
Ezekiel?
yes. Right on. Sorry, I think I was asleep at that point.
Oh, okay.
What did the
Well, I
statue look
think-
like again?
It was of a big humanoid wearing a helmet, slouched over, sort of half cradling like a wound, with a sword on, with a sword by its feet. It was quite a big statue. It was maybe, if it could stand up, it'd be maybe 20 feet or 15 feet tall.
So, as far as we know, other people weren't harmed at these statues during the storms, right?
No, the storms. I mean, as far as we know, the storms seem to have just passed by, and no, well, without much of a fuss.
Now, I haven't seen the other statues, but this one was clutching a wound, and that's where we found a wounded Mereth Akure.
I mean, it could well be that there was like sacrifices of sorts made at the other statues, but they were just done secretly.
Yeah.
Wouldn't rule it out.
It's just, I think if Badran in that state wanted to kill Mereth Akure, he would have killed Mereth Akure.
That does seem sketchy to me too.
Yeah, it's not much of a sacrifice if they don't die, right?
Yes, and the fact that I mean, as far as you know, it worked. Whatever they were doing, I mean, the undead began to rise from there, and they, whether that's related to the storm, whether it's related to Badran himself, whether it's related to the statue, I don't really know.
I mean,
but
Badran's basically undead now, right?
Yeah, he looked
Seems
like
so.
it.
I'm just thinking maybe these other statues have other actions going on that might or might not include harming someone. Maybe if we can figure out what the statues are of, we can figure out how to stop them from being activated.
Potentially, or at least see what the link is between the statues, so we can find more. Are they tombs to particular people, perhaps?
Well, we won't find out by sitting around. Shall we begin?
Okay.
Okay, let's go.
So, where would you like to go?
I think would we need to go get permission from Ezekiel to go to the crypt?
I mean, we're
Yeah.
working together, not for him. I think so long as we give him the info that we figure out as well, then he's alright.
Yeah, you're not sure. You wouldn't imagine it would be that he would say no, but he might just to be annoying.
He's probably also sent men over there already.
We could just like send like Morna over or something.
What,
Classic.
to Ezekiel?
Why specifically?
No.
Morna?
Well, no, she's stealthy. Like she's going to the crypt and then just kind of.
Oh, right. Okay.
Do we want to sneak?
I think it's best to just
When-
be forward about it and go and ask.
Yeah.
Don't always have to sneak.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so we go find Ezekiel. Just make sure
Okay.
our ban has been lifted.
Okay, so you go up onto the second floor of the palace, which the Tempest Brand have sort of taken over control of whilst this investigation is ongoing. You see a lot of Lavari bureaucrats and clerics sort of organising paperwork as Tempest Brand soldiers sort of pace up and down this sort of bustling hallway. You knock on a door, which is Ezekiel's office, which at some point was it was an office belonging to one of the Tarsat's bureaucrats, but now is his. There's a few paintings put up of the Bay of Lavar and a lot of red cloth, a lot of red and gold cloth that's sort of just hanging about the place. He looks up, notices you all, but just goes back to writing whatever he's writing on the desk without saying anything.
Excuse me, Grand Inquisitor.
Yeah, he stops, looks up. Yes.
Sorry, I hope this won't be very long. We were just wondering. You previously asked us not to enter the crypt. Is that still in effect, or would we be free to go there? We'd like to find out about these locations, these statues.
What a great idea! I'll come along. Hopefully you can glean some insight that my men have not been able to get so far. It is great that we are working as allies now, isn't it?
Mhm.
Yes. Feels great.
He stands up and picks up his coat, dusts it off and puts it on. It's this sort of quite long. It's not quite. We're not really sure what it's made of. It seems to be made of some sort of cloth. And it's sort of slightly padded, almost like a gambeson that sort of goes down below his knees, but it's in the red and gold colours of the Tempest brand, red, white, and gold. He looks at you and he says, "And what did you hear about Mereth? Did you agree to her?" I haven't been told everything exactly. I'd rather hear it from you. Is she on board with helping us out?
Believe so.
Very well.
Did we actually speak to her about the terms?
No, I thought the king was going to do that.
Yes, we're not sure what's actually been agreed with her.
Well, let's go visit her now, shall we? And he nods at a couple of guards who stand up, go to attention, and sort of file in behind him. He says, I assume if you have spoken to the king about this, he's already made arrangements for Mereth's ability to work with us, so he won't mind if we were to bring her with us, would he?
Well, sorry, so bring her with us?
Well, I just figured that if anyone was to know about these statues, it would be her, considering that her and Badran have been apparently activating these statues around the place.
I'm not sure bringing her into the open is that wise. Any information she has, she'll have from captivity. If we were to bring her there, then that may be an invitation for maybe either Badran to come and finish the job, or for someone to rescue her.
I don't think they're going to rescue her or Badran will come back. I think Badran's moving on. Mereth is pretty sure she was betrayed. I don't think anything's going to happen.
Do you think that you would not be able to protect her? If you were charged with the protection of her life, you would not be able to live up to those aspirations?
Depends who was trying to get her.
Okay.
I feel like there's two aspects to this. If we were set upon, and someone was to try and retrieve her, then within this group here would probably be about the best place you'd want her to be. However, we don't exactly move with the greatest stealth.
Speak for yourself.
One of us does, but as a group, we stand out. So she'd be more easy to find.
I see. Well, make a persuasion check for me as well. Scrimshaw. He sort of says,
That's no good.
let's see what information she has, shall we, before we go. Maybe she will be able to tell us. If she does not help us out that much, I'm not sure she'll be able to help us out too much when we go to the statue, but she might be able to glean some insight from it.
Okay, as you wish.
Okay, so he takes you down into the dungeons, where moved from where she was before, from like a sort of slightly more like dingy place. She's now been moved into a fairly nice room, which is actually in the process of being refurbished. You look as the room is around the room. There's this sort of black silk which is being held from the walls, and on the ceiling there's these ropes with herbs and precious rocks and like preserved dead animals which are hanging from the ceiling, held just above head height. Mereth is stood like by the corner where there's this sunstone, sort of like a stone that's giving off some light, tending to a large vase full of these black roses with a pair of scissors. She's sort of neatly trimming the thorns and the excess buds off the roses. She doesn't turn as you enter, but you see that her dimensional shackles have been taken off her hands, but like wrapped around her waist and attached across her like chest. Still, giving her use of her hands, but not the ability to actually leave anywhere. She doesn't turn as you enter, but she does say, as you walk in, she says, "One drop of poison from one of these roses is enough to kill a troll. A whole rose can kill a town." And she snips as you watch as the silky black rosebud of one of the plants falls to the ground. She turns, eyeing you all as she stamps down on it, crushing the delicate petals to dust. "However," she says, "the black rose never acts an offence. Its poison is purely defensive. That was the motto I was raised under when I was raised by the Knights of Mereth after our exile. We were sold a lie by Tarash, both Pietro and Velos, as you knew him. I was taken under his spell, as many were. I allowed him and Amon to experiment on me, to clone my body and let me die over and over. It was all for the cause, I was told. For a better world, free from poverty, oppression, and feudal politics. Tarash would have ruled effectively, I don't doubt, even perhaps well. He never truly intended to awaken Eretz and fulfill the prophecy. Instead, he wished to make this world his realm. But I've since learned that the suffering he would have caused to achieve his goals would never have been worth it in the end. Naruzatar was no different. I worked from my time to the beginning of service to him to restore the balance of power in Ortheid, to stop him before he's reached his final goal." She sits down and looks at you and she says, I am grateful for the opportunity you've given me and to prove not my loyalty to your cause. We will probably go back to being rivals, but more that I can do some good before my end.
Yes, you're a real saint, Mereth, Akure.
She looks at you and smiles and she says, "Well, you've clearly come to me for a reason. What can I do you for?"
Well, we were hoping you'd be, given where you are now, I assume you've spoken to either the king or one of his delegates.
Yes, I've not spoken to the king directly, but I am very grateful for the opportunity to live out the rest of my days in freedom, provided I do work, for him.
Okay, good. Well, yeah, that saves us a lot of explanation and possible bargaining. We were hoping you might be useful regarding the statues.
Yes. I suppose I will be.
I mean, in terms of information about them, we only have very basic things like their locations. Is there anything you could tell us about them?
Well, yes. Now that we're allies, I suppose I can tell you some information which might be important to yours. The statues are called Watcher statues. They were put here before Tarsat was a country by the old Livari Empire to protect a very important artifact that Naruzatar's interested in. There are...
I assume
okay, go ahead.
he activates them all, and then somehow gains access to this artifact.
Yes. Unfortunately, I did work with Badran to activate 3 of these statues. Well, I suppose 4, considering I was used to activate the fourth. But there are only 4 Watcher statues. It has been activated.
Oh dear.
However, the crypt will not open. The crypt containing the artifacts will not open until the Summer Change Festival.
Why?
Well,
is
that explains something.
It was just
Why
how
would-
it was set up when it was designed.
Well, I mean, that explains why Mereth would want us out of VL. Do you know where this crypt would be? Is this in the one in VL, or one of the other 4, one of the other 3, or somewhere else altogether?
It is underneath VL. It is in the crypts and the catacombs underneath the city. The tunnels do go far and wide, and it is very difficult to find all your bearings, but it is said that when all the Watcher statues are activated, on Summer Change, they show the way.
Do you know if you're able to deactivate them at all?
I have not heard anything about people being able to deactivate them. Once they are activated, they are activated. But if it gets to the end of the year by Summer Change and all 4 have not been activated, then they will deactivate.
Right. Can we not just destroy the statues?
You can try. I think. I don't know.
Would there be a way to, I don't know, magic one somewhere else that isn't here? That fuck it up.
What were you asking particularly? Sorry.
Well, I don't know magic very well, but maybe we have gone to like other planes, right?
We personally haven't. Don't think.
I mean, in the tower, right? That was different
Oh,
planes,
yeah,
right?
potentially. Yeah.
Maybe if we just bamf one of the statues over to another plane, would that fuck it up?
I mean, I know that when I banish a creature, I believe it's specifically creatures, can't banish an object. But if it's not from, if it would only stay away if it's from a different plane. If these statues were created here, then permanently banishing them somewhere else would be difficult.
I figure whatever machinations were to cause the Watcher statues to become activated no longer requires the Watcher statues to exist. It is said that they will somehow lead the way. It doesn't necessarily mean that they literally will lead the way. It might just create a sign. There might be a sign in the catacombs that leads the way. It's just how the myth works. I don't know. It would be a lot to gamble on to get rid of these statues and then have the tomb open up anyway.
So all the statues are activated, is what we're saying, right?
Mm-hmm.
My mission that I was set by Naruzatar is complete, yes. I never intended to allow him to activate the 4th statue, but it seems like Badran got the jump on me and stopped me before I could stop him.
So there's no point in going to the other statues if they're all already activated and we don't know how to deactivate them.
Yeah.
You remind me. What was those horrific, abhorrent storms? They were a disgrace.
That was Naruzatar testing his new toy, which I'm sure you are not surprised to hear comes courtesy of you.
Courtesy of me.
Not of you, and she nods to the rest of the group.
I'd be sweating if I could.
What have you done?
Well, that had nothing to do with me.
The Inquisitor turns his head and looks at you and says, Yes, what do they mean? What does she mean?
Yeah, what do they mean?
Mereth smiles and says, it is purely a matter of speech. Pietro managed to get the upper hand on them many times, and unfortunately, they were not quite able to stop him from doing something quite destructive. Am I right?
Yeah,
Yes.
Unfortunately, we were one of the many victims of his deceit.
The Inquisitor says, right, very well. Anyway, I'm bored here. Tell me what she says, and turns around and goes back upstairs. And Mereth says, I'm glad that he's gone. And she wiggles her fingers, and you see like a little puff of magic just like come off her fingers.
Yes,
elements.
I noticed. Who was it that moved those shackles into that new position?
Trust me, if I could teleport out of here, I probably wouldn't anyway. I'm actually quite enjoying working with you, and it seems that we can do some good. But do not get me wrong, I am still bound by them. I would like to know my situation just as much as you do.
Yes.
But these Tempest Brand fools think that all it takes is to take away a wizard's spellbook to stop them being able to cast anything. Unfortunately, it's not how it works, but I think that can stay a secret
Yes.
between us.
Yes, that was kind of why I was asking. Like, what? Who thought? Oh, we just move these to this position, and then she can't cast spells. Because that's not how magic works. So clearly not a spellcaster.
Well, have you seen the Inquisitor? He's not particularly smart.
Well,
I
know
second that.
These religious types tend to have their own brand of magic.
Don't you?
And do you think he's particularly adept in that? He's a bureaucrat. He is raised and formulated by nepotism. He is not advanced in his craft in any way. But he's also not smart enough to accept when people might be more advanced than him.
He does seem rather advanced in being a dick.
I'm starting to like you.
Yeah, a tad abrasive, we'll say. Right. So we're in a bit of a pickle here. Oh God.
Pickle Richard.
Worst dilemma I've ever seen.
Stupid.
So should we just lay cards out here on guys?
Mm-hmm.
Lay your cards out.
Not those cards. But
Mereth, do you want to play a game?
Pick a card, any card.
Oh, that'd be funny.
Oh, imagine if she just got like imprisoned in the.
Can you imagine if you got 3 wishes?
Oh no! I wish all the statues deactivated.
Okay.
Turns out they're not even needed anymore.
Alright, carry on.
So we were invited by Neruzatar, or one of his one of those in his employment, to gain an audience with him. There were, in this letter, there were threats on the lives of a few figures around the Summer Change Festival. So the implication to me here is that he wants us away.
Very astute observation.
While this is happening.
He knows about you. He is assured by Badran that you will not be of a threat, but you did put up quite a fight earlier, so there is no reason for him to unnecessarily risk Badran's failure in this.
Yeah, that dragon. A little scary. I might try and figure out something to combat that, but no, that's another thing for another time. What kind of forces does he actually have? We don't know much about the people around him.
Carneer is not a big country, but it is brutally and efficiently run for the purposes of providing Naruzatar with everything he requires for his continued existence, as well as a global economy for him to conduct his experiments through. There are maybe less than 1 million people in Carneer, and they are selectively bred for his service.
That sounds pleasant.
Yes, many in the ministry, even them, look at the serfs in Carneer with dread because Naruzatar does not treat them very well. But what exactly was it you were asking?
Well, so obviously I would assume that for this artifact that he's seeking, he would need to send some elite group
He will
to
send.
retrieve it.
Yes, he will send his as many as he can afford. He does not particularly mind if it was to start a war at this point. He has prepared for coming up to 500 years for this task.
So you think he may send a small army?
I think he probably will not. I think he will send his top elite most scions to do it.
Oh,
I'm just trying to kind of gauge whether this would be a force that we'd be able to handle, or if a fight with whatever force he sends should be avoided at all costs.
They will not look for a fight. They will look to try and sneak into the tomb and get the artifact and return back. But they will send enough people that if you were to confront them, they would hopefully be able to destroy you. I do not know. I do not make decisions for Naruzatar. I never have. He very often makes decisions on his own without consulting anyone.
Could try blowing up the tunnels.
I was thinking the same thing.
But then again, that might also blow up what the tunnels are under.
There are almost 1 million square miles of catacombs underneath VL.
That seems like an awful lot of catacombs.
Yes, they tie
City,
in.
awful lot dead.
They tie in with the old Mistran tunnels in the system as well. This tomb is most likely set into an old Mistran tomb. It's not. The artifact itself, if you're interested, is an elemental lodestone of fire, if you know what that is.
I can't say I'm familiar.
Well, Naruzatar wishes to construct himself a new body capable of harnessing the power of an elder box to ascend himself into godhood. To create such a being, you'd have to create a being from each of the primal made with each of the primal elements. So you'd have to have the primal element of fire, water, air, and earth. And the only places you can get those are in the elemental planes themselves. What lodestones do is that they harness that energy and allow you to bring it into this realm. They are rare. Yes, he will require all 4, and then he will require going to the elemental planes and getting these lodestones filled.
Does he have any other lodestones, do you know?
Yes, he has the elemental lodestone of Earth. There are a lot of elemental lodestones around. However, many of them are either very lost or in very, very good care. He weighed up quite a few places that an elemental lodestone of fire might be from, and found that VL security is not exactly as great as it should be.
Could say that again.
You don't happen to know any fire dragons by any chance?
No. Why?
I mean, we do, sort of.
Well, I mean, they might know a few things about paths into what you say, those elemental planes.
Well, that's a consideration for Naruzatar. Hopefully we can stop him before he gets to that point.
I'd rather not trifle with dragons
Oh,
at the moment. We're dealing with one dragon, and that seems bad enough already.
Oh, this is a friendly dragon. This is Masamantha. We've probably mentioned her to you before.
I fight.
Yeah.
And where is Masamantha? She disappeared, did she not?
We're not sure exactly.
Yeah, she did disappear. Whoops.
See, the strangers in the Black Hand had many problems, and Masamantha would surely not be happy to see me.
Samantha. That name rings
I
a
would assume
bell.
not.
Make her actually. What's your name? Gira. Make her.
Gira.
Yeah, Gira. Make a religion check or history. It's your choice.
I mean, you gotta remember, Gira his memory's not very good.
Yeah,
anyway,
I'm just gonna. Yeah, exactly. But like, see if you do know anything.
I'm gonna do a religion check.
Okay. Yeah, that name keeps ringing in the back of your mind, and you're not exactly sure where to place it. Something from your past that you can't quite place your finger on.
I will mull over this Masamantha name. Gira kind of just like wanders off into the corner, kind of pondering his thoughts.
Are we taking him with us?
I mean, it would seem cruel to dump him out on the streets at this point, you know?
Gothric just kind of splutters a bit and just kind of vaguely gestures over.
I mean, plus, just kind of leaning in a bit so Gira can't hear. To be fair, since Rainleaf left, we kind of need someone with his skill set.
Oh, if he can remember how to fucking do it.
Yeah, but I mean, think about it. If any of us go down, and and we don't have him, that's kind of it.
I know.
I mean, that's Solarial, I suppose, but you know, can't always rely on remote assistance.
This letter, Mereth interjects. Who was it sent by?
It was sent by Eston Jafaris.
Ah. He and I worked very closely in the rebellion in the ministry.
Ah, good. In case you're aware. Yes, the king mentioned that to us as well. We were kind of hoping that we would actually just follow this note previously and go there ourselves, but
Yes, now I'm not sure either.
yeah.
Well, you have 18 days until the Summer Change Festival. If you were to head there immediately,
Well, we'd have a very short time to stage whatever we wish to do.
We could, if this Estan, would we be meeting Jafaris there, or?
He would. I will try and contact him. It is very difficult to get messages in and out of Carnea. There is a protective barrier that stops a lot of messages being sent, but I will try and get contacts with him. If I can, I will ask him what Naruzatar plans with you. If Naruzatar plans nothing except for what I expect, which is just to keep you in Carnea until Summer Change, then we might be able to stage something. If he plans to kill you, which I doubt, then maybe you shouldn't go.
Why wouldn't he want us dead?
Because Nurizatar is very fair. He will offer you a job before he tries to kill you. Hence how I got into my position.
Yeah, and it seems like having a job may be less preferable to actually being killed.
It's like the anarchist.
I die before I seek employment.
Yeah.
I mean, specifically for the Ruzatar.
Actually, working in the ministry was actually quite nice. It was just on the backs of lots and lots of enslaved servants that were selectively bred and basically raised like cattle, so that Nurizatar can continue to become powerful.
Yeah.
But, other than that, it was fine.
Very fair. Very kind and just ruler. Fucking hell. So...
Hey,
Yeah.
I guess we have choices to make then. Do we head there and hope that we can stage this coup before Summer Change Festival? Do we stay and try to guard whatever happens with this? I mean, this would even be assuming that we would be able to see whatever signal the statue gave off. Like, it may be that. Do you know anything about the signal itself? You seemed a bit unsure earlier.
I only know what the myths say, which is the Watcher statues will guide the way.
Right. He doesn't have any specific means to follow this?
I don't know. I really know as much as you do now.
Right.
Nurizatar knows. He has done a lot of research. I have not. I was just following orders.
I worry that if we stay here and try and cut off these people that come for it, but try to guard the entrance, that we miss whatever signal is given off that Nurizatar knows how to follow and we don't. And
Yeah, that's a good
they
point.
just go find it themselves and we're none the wiser.
Well, then there's 2 more lodestones, I suppose, that we can try and stop him getting.
What
True.
are those 2 that is left? Air and water, you say?
Earth and water.
I thought you said Nurizatar has the earth lodestone.
That's right. You're right. He does. Yes, that was taken actually from the Grey Mountains.
When did he take that from the Grey Mountain?
Not that long. It was actually really easy. Like 6 months ago.
Was it in that really cool place with all the the land of the giants, whatever it was?
Yes, Land of Living Stone. Yeah.
Land of
The
Living
Earth
Stone.
Elementals.
That was cool.
Do we know where either of the other 2 might be located? Do they also use these statues, or is it they all have different mechanisms?
What is that? Sorry.
The other lodestones, do they use similar mechanisms with these statues, or are they?
No.
their own
These
security
statues.
mechanism?
These statues were just a security mechanism that the Empire of Lavar set into motion before it collapsed. They did not want whatever nation that was going to be formed, which ended up being Tarsat, controlling the elemental lodestones of fire. The other lodestones, they could have anything. I don't know. He has his eye on a few places.
So there's 4 types, but multiple of different types.
Yes, it's quite hard to place how many there are, and different lodestones have different power ranges as well. They can only hold a certain amount of primal elemental power. So Nurizatar organizes his targeted ones by seeing how much raw power they can hold and how easy they are to get. Naturally, they're not correlated. It tends to be the ones that are more powerful also have way more security. I suppose that would make
Funny
it correlate. That would make it correlated.
I kind of assumed that they would all be similar levels of power. Which is the most powerful?
Well, the one in VL is very powerful for the security measures which have been put in place. But people just I assumed that it had been buried through time, and only through Neruzita's reading that he does a lot of after spending a lot of time. Then he discovered it. He discovered the original manuscripts.
Right, so I suppose it's not the end of the world then if we did miss him getting this second one. It's not fantastic. It's not what we want to happen.
And if he gets it, I'm pretty sure there'll be a whole tide of undead coming up. I mean, it's in the fucking catacombs.
That might be used as a distraction, to be fair. If the city is too busy holding off a lot of undead, you saw what happens in the graveyards. Then the Scions
men aware.
The King of Men.
The King of Men, yes.
Wolfram.
Oh, okay.
Yes, Gothric, you name Wolfram. Is he aware that this distraction might be happening?
No, this is the conversation. This is the first conversation we've had on the matter.
Might be wise to mention it to him.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Ultimately, if Tarsat wants to try and save itself from this level of destruction and chaos, Neruzita must go before spring change.
You just said spring change. Did you mean that, Mike?
Summer change, sorry. Spring change is Aaron Kasser's birthday.
Right. So what do we want to do? Do we try and head them off in the city? Do we, take these significant individuals' deaths in stride? Not too keen on that.
No, I'm worried about Halcyon.
Yeah, I mean, thinking about who they may target, there's Halcyon and Clive, of course. I suppose the king himself, but I guess I don't think that would be one of them.
Who else do we care about?
Eren, Illyriel?
But I feel like they could surely fend for themselves a bit.
Well,
Could have my advisor,
That's true.
True.
who is the only one being able to keep the orcs together whilst I'm off doing this. He dies, then I've got no safety net.
Oh, and you have to go back to the orcs.
Who probably hate me right now.
Yeah, that's not good.
So, I'd rather not him die.
I was thinking with Eren and Lyro, yes, they're strong. They're very capable people. But if Eren's caught on her own, same with Illyriel. If they're caught on their own, then they're not beyond being assassinated.
I mean, Mereth's also pretty capable, and she got pretty fucking murdered.
That's true.
Thank you for that.
Yes.
You're welcome.
Funny story.
How many
actually.
times was it? 3?
Funny story.
2?
Actually, there was one time that I believe I tried to pull your soul from your body, but it didn't actually work.
Very well.
Yeah, we did kill you once as well.
Yeah.
I know, I was there.
So she's pretty capable, but still at limits.
Well, yes, when it's 6 on 1, it's not particularly fair, is it?
Yeah,
Yes,
like
though in
also-
assassinations, people tend not to take fair duels.
Exactly. I don't mind. I know. I would never played fair.
Hmm.
Ah, it's nice, isn't it, that we're all on the same team now?
I mean, it's
Yeah.
nice to actually have a laugh with you, as weird as that sounds. I
Well-
don't like
Maybe next time you can bring some ale down here. Huh?
Bad.
Maybe.
perhaps.
What if you get drunk and disintegrate the wall?
I
Well,
don't think she's going to get drunk and disintegrate the wall.
we're also, what, 50 feet underneath the city of Yale? If I disintegrate a wall, it just makes a big hole in the wall.
It just extends your living quarters.
I suppose, like,
That
yeah,
sounds like a good idea.
that's how they used to mine back in the day.
God, that's whew.
Slow.
Cheaper ways.
Fine. So, have you decided what you might want to do? I would suggest that, provided Eston Jafaris is in control of the meeting at the border crossing, he might be able to help you out. What we wouldn't want is we wouldn't want Nurizatar to have used his name to be baiting you there. If I was found out by Badran and Nurizatar, then many others in the ministry could have
Sorry,
been.
you cut out there.
Okay. If I had been found out by Badran and Nurizatar, then many others in the High Ministry could have been. Eston could have been one of them as well.
It's true.
This might be a vie for power that Nurizatar's playing. But I guess we will not know unless you meet them.
Yeah, we did consider the option when speaking before that this may not be actually from him. Okay. How is it that you get your messages in and out, if I may ask?
Well, I can't really down here, but now that I have a bit more freedom, I'm sure that you'll let me out for some time, like in the gardens, maybe?
Some fresh air.
Under strict watch, of course, yes. And these dimensional shackles can go back on my hands, but if I need to organise with Wolfram whatever contacts he has with Estan, then I will happily do that as well. It seems that Tarsat and him were in league a long time before I was in league with Tarsat.
Did he mention that his contact was generally one way? Guys? I think he said that.
I can't remember.
Me neither. Maybe Garrus would remember.
Maybe the mystical force in the sky.
Maybe the mystical force in the sky.
Make an intelligence check.
Not great intelligence.
No, it's supposed to be scrimshaw.
Hey.
Hey!
Yeah, it was mostly one way. It was Eston sending like tips and then like sort of tip offs and stuff. But
Yeah.
there had been occasional meetings, but you hadn't really heard of any specific ones.
Yeah. Yes. Now I'm thinking about it. Yes, he did say that they had a bit of a one-way relationship in terms of messaging. It might be difficult for them to even get a question in.
Well, that sounds like him.
But if he does have a way, then that would be good to use.
Alternatively, you just go to the bridge. Until you cross over into Carnia territory, you at least have the protection of Darzen Baronwood, which is the Archduchy to the north.
I really don't like this, but I also don't like the possibility of losing friends.
Yes, and ultimately we do have the safety net of the fact that if this doesn't work out in time,
You also
then
said
he's not there yet. There's two more.
He also doesn't say that we have to go there alone.
We could take Mereth.
That sounds like a wonderful idea.
she fidgets nervously.
Give her back.
Hmm.
This is a joke. I'm joking.
Yeah, I'm not sure she's a lot good to us dead. I think it has to just be ourselves. If we brought anyone else with us,
I think we should just go.
then yeah. I think we should do what we can to try and contact this Eston Defaris first. Make sure that make sure that this note really is from him.
And how long are we going to wait for an answer?
I don't know. I guess that'll depend on the speed at which these messages can travel.
If Naruzatar does know about Jafaris' role, Jafaris could already be dead.
We could try and... Oh, no, we couldn't try and... Could we try and scry on him, perhaps?
I could. I know Aston Jafaris. I suppose you could try. You have heard of him, and I could give you a description of him. But then again, Carnea is very difficult to scry into. It has a natural sort of mountainous barrier around it. But if you feel like taking a shot, go for it.
Ends up like the Palantir. Like Sauron just fucking finds us.
Well, I mean, I think it would, by the sounds of it, it would be much easier for you to do this. We'd have a much higher chance of success. I think if we were to try and do this ourselves, then the odds would be against us.
Mm-hmm.
That is, assuming... Gira, are you able to scry?
No, unfortunately, I am incapable of such a thing.
Oh.
And it looks like Mereth has shot.
Are you sure you can't, Kira?
Yeah, because it's a cleric spell.
Yeah, you have access to all cleric spells as a cleric.
You are correct. I guess I do.
But if you haven't prepared it, then
I haven't prepared it then, no.
Yeah, so I couldn't do it today. Okay. Right.
And what would your
so-
goal in scrying on him be? To just determine
sure
whether
that-
he's alive.
Make sure that he's alive, not
He's
imprisoned.
I see. Very well.
If he's walking around like nothing's wrong, then one would hope that would mean that he's not been found out.
Implying that Naruzatar's not making him play along with that.
It's possible, but it's... I mean, we can confirm that he has been captured and put in prison by this. It's information.
What time of the day is it?
It's probably coming up to the evening now.
Okay. Well, we could always just, do it tomorrow in the morning and then, head to Garnier in that morning.
True. I think if we try and speak to the king tonight, see what ties he has to contact. If that's not enough, then potentially see if we can allow Mereth to head to the surface and under strict watch.
To the surface world.
Mrs. Akure,
Yes.
may I have a description of Mr. Jafar? Was it
Mr.
Jafar? What was it?
It's got a fucking parrot.
Eston Jafaris.
Jafaris.
Jafar from Aladdin.
Where's the lamp?
Let me
takes
show
great
you the
interest in this
world. I
Looking for
live in
fruities.
Carnea. Yes, he has. He is of Lavari descent, so quite dark skin, short black hair, cropped, a sort of usually a goatee of some description, starting to go grey. He works in Carneath Hold in the ministry. That should hopefully broaden the description enough for you to try and lock onto him.
Much appreciated. I must say that my grasp of the differences in physical appearance of humans is not ideal, to say the least, but I thank you for your...
Yeah, they all look the same, don't they?
Quite.
Well, sorry. I mean, they're all unique.
Well,
to say bye after that, Scrimshaw.
Oh, sorry. That was a lie.
so, I don't know what else you particularly want from me, other than to keep me company.
Do you have any idea where we can procure these lodestones?
There's a few places. You might have to research them. I do not know specifics. Nurizatar does all of his research himself.
Okay. May I propose that I head to the library and have a look for some information pertaining to these lodestones while a couple of you go off to the King of Men?
Sounds reasonable. Okay, well, yeah, Mereth, you've been quite helpful. I'm sure we'll be in touch soon.
Very well. You know where I am.
Yep.
Yes, and I hope that continues to be the case.
Just like laughs. Okay, so Gira, you're going off to the library.
Yes.
Again, the library in VL is like shockingly like badly kept. You know, it's mostly bureaucratic sort of tax receipts and stuff. These lodestones, like Mereth said that basically Nurizatar's been preparing this for like 500 years, so you got a lot to catch up on. I'll let you make an investigation check once you go to the library though. See if you find anything of any note.
Gira also asks Sir Roxon to come along because he's big, so he might have a big brain.
Can hold lots of books.
Yeah.
Yeah, and handhold the books as well. That's true.
Just imagine Kira going in the library, like saying, "And this one," and like putting it on top of Roxon's ever-increasing pile as Roxon's like balancing with them.
It's just like tax receipts, but
yeah, basically it's just binders full of like census data and tax receipts.
Literally none of these are relevant.
Yeah, it's like no.
it wasn't actually a bad roll, to be honest, considering I don't have a bonus to it.
Yeah, pretty good. So, in your research at the library, you don't find anything about lodestones. You do you do actually see a couple of mentions of Watcher statues, but however, it's like things that refer to like myths of Watcher statues and sightings of Watcher statues, specifically from the town of Rexony. That there was an old temple outside Rexony where it said that there was a Watcher statue. Other than that, you don't really find anything any note.
Okay.
As for everyone else, what's everyone else doing?
I want to talk to Scrimshaw quickly.
Oh, okay.
So I know where there's one of these stones.
Oh.
Water one. It's
How?
Yep. We have got one at the temple. They keep it safe there. But literally to stop people like Nurizatar taking it and extending their life.
Well, that's good news.
I don't know if it's a powerful one though. I don't know how powerful it is, but
I mean, by the sounds of it, he needs all four to attain his goal to become a real threat.
But he could just find a different water one, right?
Potentially.
Hmm.
Yeah. Erin did say that there were multiple of each element, didn't she? They're not unique.
Yeah.
Erin.
Sorry,
Mereth.
Mereth. All
Yeah.
you girl wizards look the same to me.
Sometimes have to stop yourself from killing Gideon because you think he's Mereth.
Yeah, in the same way that like there's not many, and like there's not like hundreds. There's maybe like 4 or 5 of each. Who knows? And like most of them are going to have been lost to time.
Yeah.
So Naruzatar like is tracking down the ones that he'll feasibly have a chance of getting.
Yeah. So there is a
Could be.
chance that this water one is the only one left.
It could be a good idea to go and warn them.
Yeah.
Or message them and warn them. Maybe we don't need to go all the way. I suppose I could teleport us there, and Scrimshaw, you could teleport us back.
That's true. It'll cost us 50 gold.
Does anyone here know sending?
Oh yeah, I'm well versed in magic,
Yeah.
especially the sending variety.
Oh, did you take some training in your year off?
No, that was a joke. I'm sorry,
Oh.
that was a lie.
Good one. No, I'm not here. I'm not there.
It's really loud coming from the library.
Sense.
It's okay. You two can come back. You could have come back right now.
Gira must have read a good joke in the book.
Yeah. Again, I can do sending tomorrow. It is a cleric spell.
Okay, cool.
Though
Oh, I
would
was just about to
Gira
ask.
need to know?
Yeah, that's the thing. I think you don't know them, so.
Joanne, give me a religion check.
Oh,
Oh, nice.
Hmm.
So you've had a few conversations with Taman about the stone over your process of training. It's so this elemental lodestone of water that's in the temple. Upon your conversations with Taman, you have learnt that this was originally a water stone which was in a shrine to a long sort of dead demigod that lived under the sea, and was brought by monks to the temple. It's pretty like powerful. I mean, it has powerful potential. This elemental lodestone literally like is probably the most powerful one in Orthaid of all the stones.
okay. Yeah, I only told Scrimshaw about this.
Yeah.
And I'm also just gonna add Scrimshaw. Yeah, I haven't told anyone else about this, and I didn't want to tell Mereth, just in case. I don't just want to give her free access to very powerful
Yeah.
objects.
Yeah, that's smart. I mean, I don't know. I feel like I may have even divulged too much information to her in there.
Yeah, I did feel like that
I-
bit too. I
I have a
definitely.
bit of a habit of that.
Really? I haven't noticed. Giving
yeah.
things away freely. It seems to make a habit of that, don't you, Scrimshaw?
Yeah, maybe I'm a little too trusting.
I was trying to work out what
High
the fuck was
charisma,
wrong.
low wisdom.
I was like, what? Oh, okay. There's the whole reason we're in this.
The only other
Yeah,
thing,
my insight is -1.
Hmm.
something that I did cross my mind, and I don't know if it's relevant at all. You know when we were in the temple getting the other item which, led to the eventual demise.
Yes.
Yes, with the sword. We had to do that test with the different elements, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, maybe it's related. Oh, also, when we went into the room, there were 2 stones that we never got. Maybe they're related. I don't know.
Oh god, if there's just 2 of the elemental lodestones in that room, then
And they were red, so maybe they're fire ones.
Would it be possible to get back? No, I can't remember if anything happened to that made it hard to go back.
Get back where? To the rest of the group?
No. To go back to the temple with the
Oh yeah, the temple collapsed after you took the sword out of it. Remember, you rushed back up to the top as it began to crumble, and all the bridges were being shattered, and lava was beginning to bubble. And
Oh yeah.
so you have no. To be fair, you don't know what the state of the temple might be in, but it didn't look great.
We have to hire some dwarves and start digging.
Yeah.
Start digging. But also that last bit was in some sort of parallel dimension. Remember, because there was that sort of that tunnel you walked through, which was So it wasn't even in this plane. So
yeah,
that last bit.
Yeah. Okay, I think we need to go to a temple.
right.
Warn them.
Okay.
We could just go there now.
We could do that tonight after
Okay.
this, after we
Yeah.
speak to the king.
Okay, that's a good idea. But don't tell anyone, Scrimshaw, please.
Okay. I'll try my best.
It's a secret temple for a reason.
Okay. I mean, you know about it. I know about it. Apparently.
Let's go. Let's go find
For the
him.
king.
Okay, so you all meet up again, and you make your way to the throne room, where Wolfram is busy as usual, just going through pieces of paper and talking to advisors and stuff, and looking up and notices that you've entered. He's sort of relieved for a little bit of break from work, and he says, yes, how can I help?
Hello. We were looking to ask about possibly getting in contact with this Eston Jafaris.
Yeah.
That contact was kind of one way.
Yeah.
Possible to get a question to him and back in a reasonable time.
I'll speak to my
confirm that it really is him that is answering.
I will speak to my spy master. Hopefully, we might be able to try and get him to maybe teleport him here. Get him to teleport here. I don't know. I'll speak to my spy master about it. Usually, he sends us messages giving us a place to meet him and a time. So it's quite hard to find him when he's working. But if he wants to talk, I'm sure he will be available. He wouldn't have sent that letter without knowing that we might want to contact him about it.
Okay. Do you have any idea what the timescales in that will be, or would you need to speak to a spy master?
It's a spy master entirely.
Okay.
The timescales, it might be a day, it might be a month. I don't know.
Right. Okay. All right. Well, in other news, we spoke to Mereth a bit. For a little while. To get some information now that she's working with us.
Mm-hmm.
These the storms and the statues. Turns out that there were only 4. They're all activated now, and apparently there's not really much we can do to deactivate them. And even if we do, they'll still work. These apparently will lead Naruzatar to an artifact known as an elemental lodestone of fire.
Yes, we suspected as much.
He already has the earth one, and if he gets all 4, he'll be able to create himself a new body and presumably attain some level of godhood or something. Seems to be a bit of a theme in what people tend to want.
Well, okay. What do you think the solution is to this?
Well, if we can confirm that message really is from Eston Jafaris, then we'd quite like to actually just continue the old plan. Go there, meet up with him, and work with those within the ministry to overthrow it.
Very well.
Yes, we just if it turns out that this message isn't from Eston, but from Naruzatar, knowing that Eston's name might lend this some credence, just luring us into a trap, then that would not be so good.
Hopefully then we can discover that before the Summer Change Festival. If we can lure Naruzatar into a meeting with you, then we can have people come to assist you, and have the High Ministry of Carnea assist you in deposing Naruzatar. Hopefully holding him accountable. I don't know.
I don't know how. I don't really know how strong he is individually. I mean, he's a lich. As far as I know, they're strong.
Yeah, I don't think he is as strong as his whole High Ministry attacking him, as well as you.
I mean, I've never met a lich before. I don't know how many liches everyone present here has met.
What do we know about the concept of like phylacteries as well?
Make a religion check.
Can I do that as well?
It was more that Scrimshaw. It was more that Scrimshaw asked. So probably not. Although you've definitely not really heard of phylacteries before. Actually, got through. I mean, you know that like basic stuff that like liches have to have some tool that they funnel their soul into and feed with, and that gives them eternal life, provided they can continue consuming magical energy. But what is it specifically that you wanted to know?
Basically, would he have any notion of things that must be destroyed before Naruzatar can be destroyed?
Sure. You've definitely heard of that.
Okay. Right, well, I mean, before we take him on himself, we would need to make other arrangements, of course. I mean, from what I've heard about liches, they have almost it's almost similar to these clones that Mereth had. They have backups of themselves, ways of coming back to life if they're killed. I don't know how it works, but or whether they know when they're destroyed. But those would have to be, I assume, wiped out before we would really be able to take him on. Or else we might find ourselves just fighting him over and over again. I suppose that's something that people in the ministry will know more about.
Yes, they are the ones who will know the most about Naruzatar. They work with him. We would trust that if they are planning on overthrowing him in a coup, they would also have everything else in order before they were to do it. If that is destroying his phylacteries, they will attempt that. It just depends whether Naruzatar has one step above them in their plan.
Yes.
Should we take a break here?
Okay.
And then come back in 15 minutes or so?
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, alright, see you in a bit. Right, so we're back. Okay, so in that case, just before we left off, you'd spoken to the king about Eston Jafaris, about perhaps trying to meet with him. Other than that, what do you feel like doing? Let's say you've had a long rest now, and it's the next day.
Oh no, we were gonna go to.
Oh wait, okay.
Yeah, we were going to go to the one.
Fuck. Tormont. Yeah, that's it.
Oh, okay. You were going to go that night. Okay. All right. So what?
Yeah,
what,
I was
when
just gonna sneak off with
Oh.
Scripture.
Okay.
Oh god, I forgot that I had the stream on to check whether the thing was still going, and then I started hearing two sets of voices at once.
Uh-huh.
Ah, me too.
Oh no. Okay. So when you all start going to bed, then Morna and Scrimshaw, you make your way over to Dormont. Morna, you obviously have that coin.
Yeah, because it can only take 2 people, right?
Yeah, so you can take you and Scrimshaw, and you vanish as you press it, and appear in the sort of darkened sort of like main hallway of the Grace of the Crow Temple.
Okay.
You see like a couple of monks milling around. They sort of notice you appear, but upon inspecting you, they know that it's you, Mona, and Scrimshaw, that they are familiar with, and just let you on your way. So where would you like to go?
I guess I'd like to go and find Tamon.
Okay. All right. So you go to her quarters. It is obviously quite late. It's a couple of hours earlier in sort of time zones, but she's settling down for the night, writing in her office, knocking on the door, and you're opening it up. She looks up and says, Tayo Mona, hello. You're back.
Hi. Yeah, we're back just for a fleeting visit, I'm afraid. There's something that we just need to talk to you about quickly.
Very well. Come in, close the door.
Okay. I'm gonna sit down.
Okay, you notice she's wearing, she's not really wearing the monk robe, she's just wearing like a sort of pale blue nightgown almost, that's quite simple, but you know, she's just sat there writing, it seems that she's actually writing poetry on pieces of paper by candlelight. She sets down the quill and looks up at you and says, it must be important, otherwise you would have sent me a message. I'm sure.
Yeah, so in Carnea, you know, Nuzita, he's been on a hunt for all the different loading stones, and I just wanted to warn you that he's got the Earth Stone, he's almost got the Fire Stone, and soon he's going to be coming for the Water Stone, and I wanted to come and give you guys pre-warning. I haven't told anyone, only Scrimshaw knows, but that is here. That's it.
Well,
no one knows that we came.
Okay. We always figured that this might be a risk. Do you know when he might be coming for it?
No idea. He's after the summer festival. He's looking at sorry, I can't.
Well, he's going for the Firestone during the summer festival.
Summer festival, so will most likely be what he looks for after that.
Hmm.
Well, unless he has notions of where the air one is.
Mm.
We don't know what he knows. Only that this is what he wants. He'll probably find out it's here somehow, and he'll come for it eventually.
Right. Well, at least he's not coming for it straight away. I will make sure everyone is prepared and we have it in a safe location. You're not going to do anything stupid, are you?
Define what you mean by stupid. Probably not.
Naruzata has been an enemy of our order for as long as we have existed. I don't think that there's ever been even a good opportunity that we've ever had to just get rid of him. So if you feel like there is some opening, it probably is not what it seems. Niruzatar is very cunning.
Okay. We'll bear that in mind. Currently working in VL with the king, because they're looking at eventually working out a plot to, overthrow him. But I don't know.
Yeah.
He's invited us to visit him as well.
He's invited you to visit him.
But we're still not sure if we're going to go.
Well,
Basically, he's threatened to kill all our friends if we don't, so... And the Summer Change Festival, so I'm not sure really what we're going to do.
it doesn't sound like a very friendly invitation then.
No, you're correct.
I will tell the Riaths of the temple about this. We will hopefully be able to send some people to Tarsat to help anything that might happen.
Yeah, well, that's great. Thank you. We think that he's going to do something in the catacombs on VL when he's looking for what people think.
Right. Okay. Well, we will send people to Tarsat, and make sure that the Waterstone is kept under protection.
Okay, great.
Well, are you planning on staying for very long?
We were planning on going back now. We didn't really want anyone to know that we'd gone anywhere.
Very well. I understand.
We could stay for half an hour or so if you wanted to chat about something.
Well, I do like spending time with you, of course. So, it's nice to see you.
Yeah, you too. You too.
And Scrimshaw, are you eating well?
Sorry, eating well?
a joke.
Oh, okay, of course. A lie.
She was like, what?
I get eyes to Mona. Oh, it's a new inside joke.
I see. Yeah. Okay. Well, listen. It is getting quite late, and I need to be up early tomorrow. I need to also tell everyone about this stuff that's going on. So, I don't want to kick you out. You're welcome here whenever you like, but I will have to go to sleep probably soon. So.
Okay. Well, no worries. We'll leave you then. It was nice to see you.
Very well. Okay. Well, come back anytime.
We will.
Okay. So
fine.
Do you mind if I just do my business here, or?
We have a teleportation circle you can use.
Oh.
Yeah.
Does that allow me to get to VL without using components?
No, we'll still use the components, but you can do it here if you want.
All right, so you just okay.
Cool. Right, yeah. All right. Well, I'll just sweep up after you then. It's fine. just like get some broom like to the side.
Why don't we go? Why don't we just go to the teleportation circle?
Sorry. We'll use the circle.
Okay. All right. So you make your way back into the main hallway and use the teleportation circle to come back to VL. Bamf into the palace. Basically, just make your way back to the room. What's everyone else doing?
Probably just... I don't know. Goldberg's probably just asleep.
Dira? Roxanne?
Right. Go on, Roxanne. Go on, meet Alex.
What are you guys doing during this time? Anything particular?
Specific. I mean, have a look around, relax.
Okay. All right. Well. Oh yeah. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say. I think Kira's probably just gonna try and ponder the name Massamantha and kind of dream deeply about trying to think back.
Okay. Cool. Scrimshaw, as you come back, teleport back into the temple, and you and into the palace, and you and Morna are beginning to make your way down to the room. Suddenly, you have that sort of sense of cold come over you, as you have in the past. You begin to notice your breath sort of frosting in front of you. Obviously strange, as you do not normally breathe. And you look down at your hands, and once again they have human flesh qualities to them. Looking around, you fail to see the girl. But as you sort of like spin around, you sort of blink, and you are stood before this like large door in this underground tomb, and you hear the sort of sounds of strange like the runes on this door are sort of singing almost like but as you look around, like this is trash. This whole room, like the cave, seems like no one's been here for hundreds of years. And as you turn around, you begin to see, sort of the same way a tape is rolled back, all these years of weathering begin to disappear. And every moment that passes, the cavern that you were standing in and the door you're standing before becomes more well kept. And you begin to notice, as it goes back in time, all these rocks of rubble that had been scattering the ground begin to form themselves into these tall statues that sort of stand around the circumference of the room, and they become less covered in fungus, moss. Suddenly, you begin to hear the faint clamour of battle ring out from the city above. And after a moment, you hear heavy rushed footfalls and this exasperated panting of these three men who immediately enter the cavern. They don't seem to notice you as you stand in the corner of the room, but two are guards in this golden armour from... make a history check for me. See if you recognise the armour. Okay, so... it's definitely not armor of any modern period. It seems quite similar to Tempest brand armor, but like a bit more dated, maybe from a few hundred years ago. You're not quite sure. But two are guards in this golden armor with these like red cloaks and these crests of dyed red horsehair on their helmets. They're followed by this magister who's got a hood up and wearing an intricate red cloak with these golden embroidered floral patterns which are sewn in masterfully through them. One of the guards says, "Magister, we must go. The rebels have taken the city." And he sort of nervously looks over his shoulder as this clamour of battle outside of this cavern begins to grow closer. The Magister pulls down his hood, revealing who at first you don't quite recognise, but sort of squinting your eyes, it is a much, much younger Aaron Shander, and you see his long golden hair that is held up in this sort of high single ponytail above his head. He says, "That's enough, Centurion." His hair sort of waves in the breeze as this breeze blows through the cavern. He says, "They do not know the way to find this place. We have all the time in the world." He reaches into his red and gold cloak as this bright orange glow begins to fill the cavern. Out of the cloak is drawn this bright orange stone, which is engraved with these ancient runes. And Aaron carefully moves it with a mage hand, sort of floating in the air, and he puts it into the silver mesh sphere, which floats on its own just over his shoulder. One of the guards begins to step back and says, "Oh, what is that, Magister?" He says, and as he sort of steps back, he trips over his feet and falls with like this loud clang on the dusty cavern floor. There's suddenly a flash of green light as you look at the guard, and he just disintegrates into dust. As Aaron lowers his glowing hand and turns to the other guard, who in fear has like pressed himself against the wall of the cavern in shock. Aaron looks at him and says, "No questions, remember?" The guard doesn't move, too shocked, but Aaron tuts and turns back towards the door. He says, he whispers something under his breath that you can't quite make out, and the door like immediately swings open, and you see within is this chamber filled with brightly shining gold around this sort of silver, looks like mercury, like quicksilver pool that's in the center of it. Aaron turns and looks over his shoulder and then fires another ray at the guard who was left behind, turning him into dust. And as you watch, as the armor clangs to the ground. And then he walks into the chamber and the door closes behind him. As the door closes behind him, the entire cavern sort of goes quite dark, and as all these shadows begin to appear in the room, stepping or like sort of floating out of the shadows is the girl. As the shadow wolf that sort of flits around her snarls at the door and sort of like yaps at it. The girl sort of looks at you, looks at the door, and she says, "Not a good man. Has many secrets."
So I assume Aaron seems to have no like cognizance of her being there.
Well, Aaron's gone. Like this is clearly some vision in the past.
Oh right.
And now you're sort of stood like in front of this door as the girl is sort of talking to you. But yeah, Aaron's gone into the chamber at this point.
Where are we?
Right underneath your feet. This is Tarsat.
So this is under VL.
Yes. This is where you seek. This door.
How do we find it?
The statues will lead the way.
Any chance we could find it before the statues?
You could give it a try. You could descend.
Would that be a stupid thing to do?
There's like a sort of glitch almost in her as like you blink and for a moment like she doesn't look like a girl anymore. Like her skin and all of her features are just matte black. And she's just got these red eyes, and there's sort of this like distorted voice that she says, and she says, "Oh, you could free me," and then she's like flicks back to the girl again, and she says, "You can. I'm sure you could find it. It's in your blood."
It's in my blood.
Aaron set this up all those years ago, before you were born. I'm sure you could find it.
Are you a tree now?
She sort of looks at you and she says, "I'm more than a tree. I'm you."
I'm gonna look down at my hands again. What kind of hands are these?
And well, as you look down at your hands, you're back to your normal hands, and you look back up, and you're back in the room with everyone. As you come back, like everyone's around again. So like the vision has passed, and you're no longer cold.
Did we notice anything?
Just like a scrimshaw blip again, just like half a second.
Oh,
Are we all here, or
Yeah, everyone's there.
It happened again.
What?
The vision thing.
Hmm.
This time, strangely useful.
Okay.
Maybe.
Well, that's stepping up.
Just kind of looking around. Are we somewhere private right now?
Yeah, you're in your quarters.
Okay. The lodestone of fire.
Hmm.
Aaron put it underneath the city.
Okay.
I had a vision. He came down here with this red orb. He disintegrated the two guards that were with him.
Blimey.
Yeah, he's kind of like that, I guess. Yeah, he seemed to store it in some underground room. There was a massive door. It had some kind of silver mesh on it. There were runes, and Yara spoke to me. She said that, unfortunately, she did say the statues would lead the way.
Oh.
But,
Very helpful.
which, yeah. Cryptic, great.
How does Yara know about that?
Well, it was Aaron that put this here. It was Aaron that stored it away during some fight a long time ago. They talked about rebels in a city above, fighting in VL.
But Yara... When was Yara born?
I don't know. But Yara wasn't part of the vision. She was separate to it. Like, she was showing me this. She wasn't there. She was, I guess, there the same way that I was. A spectator.
Right.
She said about it being in my blood.
But you
And
don't have any blood, right?
I've got fluids.
Is that your chat up line?
Hey baby, I got some fluids.
Mm.
No.
Sexy.
What does this fluid look like? What color?
Well, if you remember the other day when I was very badly hurt, you know the stuff that was spilling out of me there, the bluish ooze.
Was it
Sticky,
bluish?
right?
Was it bluish? Yeah.
Yeah, it was a bluish sticky
Okay.
ooze.
Like tree sap.
Yeah,
Okay.
maybe.
Is tree sap usually
I don't know.
blue?
That's not normally blue, is it?
No, but the sticky part.
I mean, a lot of
Sticky,
things
yes.
are sticky.
That kind of consistency, I suppose.
I
But
mean-
I feel like this is getting a little beyond the thing here. I don't know. Maybe if we go down there, I'll just close my eyes, walk, and be able to find the route.
Or you
It's a
walk into
long-
a wall and we all laugh.
It's a long shot, but
Whoa, it's worth a try. Let's go and do it now.
She said I could find the way. It's in my blood.
Scrimshaw, I believe in you. This sounds a bit like my own kind of intuition I get. I think you should follow it.
Yeah.
Do you also talk to weird girls who somehow know everything about the past?
No, but I know a little something about faith and trust and the magical ley lines and energy that fuel and power this world.
Right.
Well, I mean, we might as well give it a shot. I'm not sure I feel any
So we're going to
partic-
go into the catacombs and you're just going to close your eyes and walk.
Sounds like a great idea.
Or I guess,
Sounds like the
well,
best plan
I mean, closing
ever.
my eyes maybe not necessary, but just
Well,
I
you could
guess
just
go wherever I feel.
Okay.
Said it was in my blood. That's the kind of thing that means, right? It's just like some innate ability.
Would
Okay.
Chandler have given you that? And why would he have given you that?
You both
I
are
don't know.
very small-minded sometimes.
Thank you for that. You make me feel really good about myself.
I'm
I
glad
mean,
I
we're
could help.
Okay, we can try it. We can
Yeah.
try it and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we're a fairly regular-minded party here.
Yeah,
Ever since Gideon left. Basically, the only brains in the party.
Hmm.
Sounds like
Right.
I can
Good chat.
remember shit.
So I guess we go to the catacombs and just walk about.
We go to the catacomb.
Sure, have a pleasant stroll amongst the dead. What can go
Yeah.
wrong?
Yeah.
The catacombs sound like
Yeah. Hopefully this time at least they'll stay dead.
fun.
Oh,
Don't
also,
say that, now they're not gonna stay dead.
Also, Yara did say that she was more than just a tree, and that she was also me.
You don't look like a little girl.
Are you sure she wasn't just
Um,
making a rhyme?
I mean, she didn't say it like that. It was separate instances. That was just me.
I mean, if she is you,
But,
then you did. Then she did rhyme
She should
technically.
definitely be a
Well, you
rapper.
rhymed.
This is very true.
I'm not part of me.
Sorry, I only have 11 intelligence. I can't follow that logic.
It's too much for me.
On a scale of 0 to 20, I'm roughly... Okay, well...
Yeah.
Should we go just do that now?
Sure. What could go wrong?
I don't think anything could go
A lot
wrong.
of
It's
things,
more what
but-
could go right.
I mean, I feel like how those people were just disintegrated in front of my eyes. That's one thing that could go wrong.
Yeah, but
Shandor
Aaron-
did that though.
It may be that worst case scenario is we actually find it.
Yeah. Although it's Fitz kept in a different realm, right? And when we talked to the Oracle, he said he was in a different realm. Does that mean that we might find Aaron if we go this way?
I don't think so. This was hundreds of years ago.
Okay.
He looked young, but he's over 500 years old at this point.
If he's a high-level wizard, he might just had a young clone. High level. If he's a powerful wizard.
He didn't.
I mean, didn't he say
He looked old
something-
when I knew him.
Didn't he say something about, Sol never being able to reach Kriegskaldr and making deals that he probably shouldn't be making?
Yeah.
It
that's
sounded
true.
a bit like he made a deal with either demon or devil or.
So
something of
if
that
he's in
sort.
another realm, I don't want to upset anyone, but I'm pretty sure that he could very well be in hell right now. Please
It's
tell me
possible.
you're not gonna- Are we gonna have to go to hell to break out your abusive dad?
That's going to be the blurb of this fucking campaign. The Clive 5 have to go to hell to break out Scrimshaw's abusive dad.
Christ.
and at the end, Aaron and Scrimshaw, they lock eyes, and Scrimshaw just says, "I forgive you."
and then they kiss. Right.
Okay,
Well,
so,
what a nightmare
finding-
fucking thought.
So finding catacomb entrances.
Yeah. I mean, currently you are settling down for the night. So, did you want to have your long rest and then?
I think so.
Oh, I
yeah.
thought you said we already had. That.
No, it's because it was going to be like that, but then obviously Morna and Scrimshaw went to the temple and came back and stuff. So, okay.
Well, that's the point. I just had the vision. Does that mean I have to go now? Will the blood thing run off, run out?
I'm not an expert.
I haven't used these things before.
I'm not an expert, but I'm pretty sure blood stays in your body until you cut yourself and then the blood comes out.
Yeah, a night can't hurt, right?
Exactly.
I mean, that said, none of us are exactly in a bad way.
Oh, let's just go to sleep. We'll do it in the morning.
Okay, do it in the morning.
Okay. Right, so you have your long rest. You wake up to the sun streaming through the window of your quarters. Down below, you hear the bustling city of Viel going about their daily business. People shouting in the streets, carts clacking, horses, neighing and kicking off when they get spooked. What do you feel like doing?
To the catacombs!
May I just put
Okay.
one word of caution
Clive 5 away.
before we head in?
Mm.
Of course.
There's
It's
no
gonna be a
storm.
short word or a long word.
Have we properly considered the logistics of exiting the catacombs? I don't want to get lost in
Can't we
all
just
of this
teleport
dream.
back out?
I mean,
If things
yes,
get-
worst comes to worst, I can teleport us out.
And if things get hairy, I'm pretty sure we could just blow our way out.
Don't worry, I have a very good sense of direction.
I actually do.
So do I.
Wait, Roxanne, we're over here. Oh.
Oh. Sorry, I was talking to this wall. I thought you were the wall.
Oh god, I can't tell walls from people anymore. It's 4 walls. I thought I had
They're all
4
the same.
friends.
You all look the same to me.
Ah,
If Scrimshaw's AC gets any higher, he might as well be a wall.
big wall of wood.
Okay.
I'm a wooden wall. Okay. I mean, there's lots of catacombs that are under the city. Like, the city's built on, like, millions of dead bodies.
Scrimshaw,
like
where
one
do you
massive
feel
network?
you need to go?
Did you say it was one massive network? So they all kind of lead into each other?
Some do, some don't. Some places are dead ends, some not. You're not sure. You're not an expert. You don't have an expert of the catacombs with you.
Should we get an expert from Catacombs come with us?
Catapoom.
Cataboom.
catacombs?
The catapooms. Yes, I think we should get someone from the catapooms.
I am very much in agreement. The catapoons seem treacherous and violent.
What an unnecessary purchase. Grimshaw, you don't need them.
I mean, Scrimshaw might not, but we might.
Have you tried to feel the way?
I'll try now. Mona taught me how to meditate before. I guess I'll do that. I'll sit down and kind of close my eyes.
Okay, make a
Or at least-
make a perception check for me to try and perceive of some direction.
With my big old -1.
You're not quite.
Not even a bad roll.
Hang on, but sneeze. There you go.
Like,
Woohoo! So, sitting down and clearing your mind, you try and think back to the vision that you had. You could hear the fights, the sort of the sound of battle coming from the tomb, coming from the catacombs. Clearly, you're not quite sure whether it was close to the street level or not, but you could hear running water, a river of some kind. There's only one river that flows through VL, so it does narrow down perhaps where it could have been, but you're not quite entirely sure where. You don't have a map of the catacombs. You don't know any places that you can enter the catacombs through, because there's not like big. It's not like a subway that just has a big like sign that says catacombs here. You'd have to like find some way into it as well. So it doesn't come immediately to you. You have a feeling that when you get close to the place that you were, you'd know, but you're not quite sure where to start.
Okay. Maybe it's a good idea to get an expert to come with us.
Yes. In the vision, there was running water.
Right.
Oh, for goodness
I
sake, you're
think
not
if I-
doing it right.
I'm sorry, there was no storm.
yeah,
If-
like,
If
hold
I followed-
off, dude.
If we maybe just take a walk by the river, follow it around. Maybe if we get close, I'll be able to feel something.
Okay.
Yeah, so you feel like walking up by the river.
Can we try and
Yeah.
get a map of the catacombs at least?
Hey, where would we even do that?
I don't know. Can we go and
Are they
ask
are
someone
they
in the
mapped?
library?
Could ask the king. Maybe he knows someone who's like an expert on the catacombs. Maybe it's an official duty someone has.
I don't think this chamber would be mapped anyway.
Yeah, but it might give us a kind of idea just in case we get lost or something.
I'd rather not walk around in circles in the catacombs.
I guess we could at least get to close to it, and then look for secret passages or hollow walls. Find some way through. Okay, should we do that? Let's do that first then, I suppose. Library, I think was the best shout.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so All right, we go to the library. Well, there's obviously there's an official who helps people with queries, but you can have a look around the library if you want. It's your choice.
I'd like to approach the official.
Okay, it's this old woman, maybe 65, 70, who is hunched over reading a book. Got these quite thick rimmed spectacles at the end of her nose. She sort of like looks at you as you approach, and she looks up and says, "Yes, hello."
Hello, excuse me, miss. We're seeking something very specific. Do you perhaps have any in your maps of the city one for the catacombs underneath?
Well, unfortunately, the catacombs are very under-mapped. There are a few miscellaneous collections of maps that you could overlay on top of each other to try and get a more full view, but the king and many of the kings of Tarsat have never actually surveyed an actual map of the catacombs before. The many maps that do exist are done by hobbyists and such.
Well, I mean, those that we could get our hands on and, as you say, maybe overlay them to get a better idea would be most useful.
If you are interested in tours of the catacombs, there are people who can show you around. They might have more information on the subject.
Yeah?
I guess perhaps some combination of the two.
Yes, if you want to look in the maps under V for VL and then C for catacombs, you will find what we have. Again, I am warning you, it is pitifully lacking.
We're just seeking entrances and the very basic structure.
Very well.
So it might be helpful.
Okay, so she points you over to a place where you can look at the maps. Again, it's like one small binder of... I mean, you're not quite sure how big the catacombs are. I think Mereth said it was 1 million square miles, which is pretty big. These maps are maybe the first 2 layers underneath the city. But again, there's like massive unmapped bits, gaps, places that just people haven't gone to, and maybe these are well out of date as well. You know, good 200 years old. But you do see that there are a series of catacombs that go around and underneath the river of the city as well.
Okay, so I'd like to kind of focus on those, like the bits around the river, and kind of try and create as best I can sort of a mix of them, like the best of each of the maps for the areas around the river.
It's going to take a lot. It's going to take a while to do that. Maybe like depends. Are you drawing them, or are you sort of just like trying to trace them on top of each other or something? Or
just try and like trace them on top of each other.
It's going to take a while. It's going to take like maybe a day.
In which case, maybe just check these out and use them individually.
Okay.
For
yeah, like the clerk doesn't mind you taking them. As long as you return them at some point, I'm sure it'll be fine. Not many people have asked. In fact, the only people that do seem to ask are those hobbyists. But I hope that you find what you are looking for.
Thank you very much. I don't suppose you personally know where we might find some of these tour guides, the ones that visit him, the ones that would know these tombs best.
There are meeting spots where the hobbyists meet every Monday. The biggest one of them is at a place called the Dead Jester, which is a pub on the north side of the city.
Sounds cheerful.
Yes. So they will be meeting tonight. In fact.
Oh, well, that's good. Yeah, thank you very much for your help.
No worries.
In which case, let's maybe go to the river now. Try and find where I'm feeling the most pull.
Okay.
And then later on go to this meeting.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Is everyone going along?
Yep.
Yeah, everyone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
There's not somewhere in the city I could find more information on the elemental lodestones.
You don't really know.
Okay.
Yeah, you're not sure. There might be.
Okay.
Okay, so in that case, right, you guys begin making your way, walking alongside the river. There's quite a lot of people out. There's loads of markets and businesses and people selling their wares and goods and bread and nicely baked cakes on the side of the road. People come up to you and they try and offer you stuff as you walk past, and as Grimshaw's like looking at the maps, just flicking through them, trying to work out like where are we. If you make make an intelligence check for me, Grimshaw, as you're looking at these maps.
Can I also buy a really nice cake?
A really nice cake.
Really nice, like small pastry thing.
Oh, yeah, that sounds like a nice idea.
Yeah, there's a few stalls that will sell capes and cloaks along the way. You can really get a. It depends how nice you want it. Oh, cakes. Sorry, I thought it was the capes, like a superhero.
Yeah, maybe we should get some rations if we're going to be in the catacombs for days.
Okay.
Yeah, that'll be fine.
Yeah, you can buy like. You can buy loads of cakes for super cheap. You can buy like the equivalent of, one of those massive Krispy Kreme boxes for like a gold and 5 silver.
Fuck yeah, let's do that.
By week 2, those are going to be stale.
Yeah, it's gonna be like, oh, what's that smell? Oh, it's all my donuts that I didn't eat.
How the fuck do you bring donuts?
Do they have like salted meat?
Yeah.
Let's get some proper rations as well.
Well, no, Gira doesn't eat cakes. What?
You could eat cake.
Dragonborns don't eat cakes; they eat meat.
Well, like a merchant comes up to you, Gira, and offers you, says, "You look like the type of person who would very much like salted. This is salted vole."
Gira kind of looks down through his small glasses. I'm interested.
Well, if you give it a try, and it sort of like snaps, like it's quite crispy, and it like snaps off like a little paw of this fucking vole that's like on a stick, and hands it over to you and says, "Try it. It's been smoked for a good day and a half."
Okay. And then Gira kind of like, like when you like throw a piece of meat up in the air a bit, and then you lift your head up and snap it.
Yeah.
Like that.
Okay. You start jumping down at it. It's nice. It's quite salty. Not actually much meat on it. It's mostly crunchy, but it's for Dragonborn's taste, it's nice.
This is palpable, merchant. Do you have more?
Yes, of course. I have a whole box of them. I'm trying to upload them. Apparently, the people around here do not have such a taste for such things.
Well, people are strange in these parts, I've noticed, including you, probably.
Charming.
Very well. Yes. In fact, and he like looks around. He says, I was told that you were looking for someone I was told that you were looking to meet me.
I think you may have got the wrong person here.
Like he takes you all to the side, and he like flicks his fingers, and he goes from like quite hunched over, like youngish looking merchant to standing up tall, his skin beginning to fade to sort of dark, this like short cropped black hair on his head, and this goatee comes out. He says, the spy master of Tarsat suggested that I was to come here to talk to you.
Oh shit.
You are
It's a really good disguise.
indeed a strange man, aren't you?
Well, I'm here to prove that this Nurizatar has not completely destroyed our operation. You are whom are referred to as the Climb 5, I assume.
Yeah.
It's us.
I am Eston Jafaris, High Minister of Carnea. But you probably have heard of me through my extracurricular activities.
Yes, I think that is how we have heard of you. We wanted to ask, actually, this letter that we got, what kind of greeting can we expect if we go to Carnea?
I have to say I do not have much time here, but I will tell you this. Nurizatar has no plans to harm you. In fact, he wishes to hire you. He looks around and he says, "It seems that Nurizatar has had just as many problems with Badran as Mereth has."
Very interesting.
And quickly, I know you don't have long. Will he harm our friends? Which friends?
I do not know that. It is Nurizatar's choice. But his threat is legitimate. He will. He does not take kindly to being defied. I am sorry. I wish I could tell you more. I do not have very much time at all.
Okay. Anyone else got any more questions?
Can I buy that salted meat from you still? I'm awfully peckish.
I have the whole box. And he says, "I will be in contact. But be safe. And if you are heading, if you head to the Arat Valley Bridge where we are to meet, I will keep you safe from there." Right. And he goes off into the shadows, and you hear a teleportation. Is cast.
Problems with Badran.
So,
Are you smiling right
question.
now?
Oh! Yeah.
So, some questions. One, how do we know that was Eston Jafaris?
I was just thinking that. That is...
Yeah.
I guess we could ask Mereth.
I could minor illusion his face next time we meet Eric.
I could minor illusion his face.
Oh. We could each do half and do a bigger face.
Yeah.
One of you could do his face. You could do his voice.
I could draw a very shitty drawing of him.
Can Gira just smell the meat? He kind of goes, "I have quite a good taste of meats of Orthaid. I wonder if he brought this back from where he was as a ploy, or if he stole this here."
What if it's all poisoned?
Well, too late now.
some merchant comes over and says, "What are you doing looking through my shit? Get out of here!" And pushes you aside. It's like, "You've been eating all my vole."
Well, I do apologize, but I've just been sold these wares by someone else.
Oh, really? And who did that then?
Well, there was a man here, and he disappeared.
Well, these aren't yours. Piss off.
I beg to differ.
Jesus.
Everything is mine.
The guy says, "Are we gonna have a problem, old man?" He sort of squares up.
I'm just gonna approach him and say, "Sorry, how much for the vol?" I'm sure you'd rather this not escalate.
I'll sell you the whole box for 2 gold.
Okay.
Here you go. Have a good day, sir.
Thank you very much.
Utterly ridiculous, this man. Grimshaw, you didn't have to do that. This man has no honor.
Jesus.
We can. I think that that box may have been stolen as cover. He didn't have long, to be fair. Let's keep going before we make any more of a fuss.
Akira's like picked up this big box of balls and is just munching them and is walking through the town. Okay, so you make your way to the side, like you're carrying on down the side of the river, trying to piece together this, where you're going. I'm not really quite sure that you can find any entrances from where you are there. What are you going to say, Mona?
Can I use my navigation tools to assist Scrimshaw in looking?
Yeah, I mean, the maps are fine. You feel that if you were in the catacombs, you would probably be able to make your way around. It's just that you don't know where the entrances are. That they're just not shown on the map.
Yeah.
Just, like,
We'll
just
try and
a
getting a
ground.
sense of the general area that we should be looking once we do go down there.
Okay. Yeah. You're not 100% sure. Looking back to your memory, there were not a massive amount of clues from the position you were stood in. You do know, though, that wherever this was, there must be some natural caverns quite close to the actual streets of the town. Other than that, you're not sure? The actual maps themselves don't really show that many in terms of natural caverns. If you could find someone that had more up-to-date maps, maybe.
Okay.
I
Well,
think
it's. Yeah, I think from here we best off just go to this meeting tonight. Unfortunately, not really. I don't know. My blood's not working, I guess.
we could find someone to help us with find an entrance, locate an entrance.
I mean, I assume that would be at the meeting.
Okay.
I mean, we could go there early and see what's what. Or we could go and, I guess in the meantime, we could always go back to the palace and verify that this person is who they say they are, Ashton Javaris.
Who they say they is.
Who they say they is, innit?
Indeed. So, yeah, what do you feel like doing?
I think back to the palace to speak to, what should we say, King or Mereth?
I think Mereth would probably know better than the king. Seeing as she, like, worked with the guy.
Well, we know there's an entrance to the catacombs in the palace because that's where the Iron Prior armor was, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I thought that was just like a smaller tomb.
Well, it did lead into the broader catacombs, but it's just that was just under the palace.
So we could go that way and find our way, or is that too much? I think it's best we find a guide.
Yeah, that's the thing, we just don't know. It could be
Yeah.
miles of twists and turns from there. There may be an entrance right above where we actually want to be.
Okay.
So, are we gonna chat to Mereth, or
About what?
Just
about
confirm.
verifying?
We just need
the-
to confirm this guy is who he claimed he is.
Oh,
'cause-
yes. I remember now.
Yeah.
Just make an insight check for me. There's no reason to suspect that he wasn't.
Okay.
Shall I do it? I do not know.
I mean, you can all do an insight check.
Okay.
All of us? Did you say?
Yeah, sure.
All right, hang on.
Insight.
Inside. I have a +6 to these. Wasn't really that helpful.
It's this where he was like, damn it, no. I tricked them and now they don't trust anything. How could this happen?
Yeah, you're pretty confident that this, like, it was the same. It was the guy who was described as the same person that Mereth. Oh, no, yeah, I think that Mereth described him as.
Yeah.
The same description. There's no reason to suspect it was anyone else. Gira, yeah, you didn't suspect him in any way. Seems to be telling the truth.
It seemed he was not telling a lie.
Or was it a
Or a
joke?
joke.
Wait, is it a lie or a joke? I'm confused now.
I'm lost. Okay, so I guess we just head to this pub. I mean, we'd maybe be able to find someone there early.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah. Okay. So you make your way down then, in that case, to the Dead Jester. The actual inn itself seems quite busy, quite early on in the day. There's quite a few people coming in and out. And as you enter the building, you see that there's a lot of people with like adventuring gear on, who are stood around chatting, socializing with each other. People with like ropes around their waist and over their shoulder, slings, pitons and hooks and grapples and all that stuff. They sort of turn to watch you enter, but noticing that you're another band of adventurers, just sort of like look back at their thing. What do you feel like doing?
Ask the barman. Well, approach the barman to say, "Hello. We understand there's a meeting about with various, I guess, cartographers and people who like to explore the catacombs."
Ah, yes, this sort of like quite burly dwarf with a big braided beard who's sort of stood on a stool so he can look over the counter at the bar, sort of slamming down mugs of ale, just pouring them in, handing them over to people without like breaking a sweat. He sort of like, as he's handing all these ales to people who are asking for them, he sort of says, "Ah, yes, I mean, I gotta say, I haven't seen you lot before."
No, we're new. We were actually wondering. Do you know what time that meeting is?
Oh, well, it's more of an informal thing. People just come here and talk about things.
Oh.
Usually, there is a small expedition into the catacombs every week, depending on whether people are up for it.
Okay. I don't suppose you know them well. Like, which ones may be the most knowledgeable?
It depends what your goals are. If your goals are to find something you're looking for in the catacombs, Areal, the guy over there, and he points to this half-elf, sort of long hair, eye patch, sort of goatee beard, who's sort of like spinning like a dagger in his hand, and then sort of like picking it at the table. He says, "If you're looking for people just with knowledge, well, there's quite a few people around here for that. But Real is he's the guy if you want someone to lead you through the caverns
Okay.
and the catacombs."
That's very helpful. Thank you very much. And I'll plop a gold on the table.
No, thank you very much.
For your
Thank you.
troubles.
Yeah, no worries. Okay. He sort of like
And-
goes off.
I shall approach this Real guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
He is sat alone, just sipping from a mug of could be ale, could be mead. Like his one eye eyes you as you come up, and he sort of like continues picking at the table, but like begins wrapping his fingers on the hilt of the blade. He looks and says, "Well, you seem like you're looking for something."
Yes, I think we're looking for you.
Yes, we've heard that you have a very good knowledge of the catacombs. Is that correct? Riel, I believe.
Yes, the best in BL.
Oh well, that's fantastic to hear.
How many times?
Inside check,
How many
inside
people
check.
around here
Yeah,
would
make an inside
say
check.
that they're the best?
You can make an insight check, Giro.
It's like every single person you ask, like, oh yes,
Yeah.
the best in the.
No, I've done it.
Okay, it's coming through. It's coming through slowly.
Yeah, reload. 'Cause it crashed.
It's 20. For...
Oh, it's 20. Okay.
Oh yeah, it's a nat 20, I swear.
I'll whisper you.
It's not a nat 20, it's just 20.
Yeah, I'll just whisper you.
Oh, there it is.
There we go. Yeah, it's
There in the
20 on
end.
my screen. Yeah.
Hey. Roll 20 has to verify it before we can take it as orthodox.
Take it.
You do. Yeah.
So he says,
Gira just kind of like raises an eyebrow at him.
he says, so you can afford my prices.
What's the price?
50 gold a day while we're in the catacombs.
Fucking yeah.
Yeah, I think we can handle that.
Very
Any
well.
chance you can go a little lower, my friend?
Oh, right, negotiation. We're supposed to do that, aren't we?
Unfortunately for you, I have plenty of people who would take my offers. 50 gold or nothing.
Okay.
I think we can handle that. Right, so,
Let's go.
oh,
Wait, where are
what?
you going? Wait, I don't know where we're going first.
Yeah, let's have a little chat first. So we're looking for somewhere very specific in the
Trying to explain this. I had a vision. And
So I had a vision.
He says, "Sit down, join me at the table. You might as well talk if you're going to hire me."
Okay. Yes. So, yes, we're looking for. Sat down, of course. We're looking for some natural caverns within the catacombs. They're near the river, relatively close to the streets.
Interesting. I know a few places that fit those descriptions. We'll have to trek through the sewers first.
Don't mind getting dirty.
okay.
I can keep this suit clean.
So, what is it you're looking for exactly?
Well, we're looking for somewhere that my father left something.
And you don't know the way to it?
No, he left it there. He, I've heard stories of such. You know, he's fairly old. Stories such of where he left this, but in terms of completely accurate directions, not so much. I just have these kind of details of the scene where he was. I like to talk about it a lot.
Right. Well, listen, I don't particularly have any interest in learning about whatever it is you're looking for, as long as I get paid.
Sorry, Mike. Inside check again on that point.
Yeah, sure.
Is that all right?
Yeah, that's fine. No, how dare you? How dare you insight?
Not allowed.
It should be, do I believe him? He seems like he just honestly doesn't give a shit what you guys are looking for. He says, however, I have to say, if it is a lot of treasure you're after, we might need to negotiate on that.
I don't think we're looking for treasure, are we?
No, it's more sentimental.
Hmm.
I mean, if by chance where we happen to stumble upon this, there are mountains of coins and chalices and jewelry, or whatever, insert description of a dragon's hoard here, then I'm sure as our guide you'd get your fair split.
May I also interject? Your business, it seems to be one of reputation, may I say. And, it'd be a shame if people around here found out you were simply in it to scrounge the gifts of others. I'm sure an honest, decent folk like yourself should be more than assured of himself and his reputation to need an extra bounty.
He sort of squints his eyes at you and he says, "You don't really know much about the way of the world, do you?"
Perhaps, but you don't know much of the world either, my friend.
All I know about the world is money, talks, and if we are to come across something in the catacombs, we share it. It's fair enough.
Yeah, fine.
Yeah.
Very well. You, I recognized you. You're the Clive 5, right?
Yeah, where do you recognize us from?
Yeah, your sketches have been in the paper.
Oh, nice.
What?
Some
what do the
journalists.
papers say about us? But by chance, I've never read them.
Well, they say their they say their things. It depends what paper you look at, I suppose.
Oh no.
There are several papers.
Are we being trashed?
What's the worst review you've seen?
Well, let me look at my notes. Hang on.
The worst accusation.
Mike's actually like made
And
newspaper.
which newspaper would it be, and who runs it, and do they have a knee that can be broken easily?
A different political bias. There's like the Sun and the Guardian.
Is there going to be one which is like half orc from Clive 5? He ruthlessly murders child.
From his description of how you're presented in the media, it seems like a lot of people think that you're just a bunch of like people whispering into Wolfram's ear and like puppeting him, and like he's not a popular king right now. With his reliance on your help.
So we're unpopular by association, or
We're a bit
or
Rasputin.
wait. So are we
Yeah,
unpopular by
you're-
association, or is he unpopular by association?
He's unpopular by association with you because there's a lot of anti-orc racism. There's a lot of like.
Oh, thanks, sake.
There's a couple of good reviews, people giving you the credit you deserve, but they're not tabloids, and they're not, they're not newspapers that sell lots of newspapers.
Is it like Rate My Adventurer Group, like a journal full of like Yelp reviews on like people's services?
Yeah, I mean, it has that sort of feel that it basically they got like sketches of you, and like he pulls out this newspaper. It's called the Times of VL, and he like opens it up, and there's like individual sketches of each of you, and the person who's drawn them has just like it's like a caricature. Like Scrimshaw's got these massive evil like demon horns and like glowing eyes. Yeah, like basically every part of you, all of you has been exaggerated. And there's like an individual thing on like a sketch of Gira, and he's like, is this the new member of the Clive 5? Question mark. Like, anyway, he puts it down and he says, well, it's just that, I never expected to be showing some celebrities around the catacombs.
Maybe we can boost your reputation.
Seems like from these newspapers you might ruin it.
Oh.
But
Well, that's not very nice.
But then again, I'm quite interested to see what it is that you are looking for. Yeah, you got it.
Cool.
I'll do it for you. I'll show you around.
Can we go now?
Well, I have to get my things ready, but no reason why we can't leave tonight.
Okay. Should we take rations?
That's usually wise in the catacombs. I don't know how long we'll be in there, and so if we find it soon, we will. If not, we won't.
Okay.
Some of these caverns can be very difficult to get into. First, you have to go through the sewers, then you have to go through the catacombs, and then you have to go through the caverns, which loop around on themselves, go up and down. They can be very tight and narrow. So we might only, as the crow flies, go 5 miles, but instead we've crawled 20 or 30 miles. It can be quite an feat of endurance, so just be prepared for that.
Okay.
I've noticed a fair few of you are armed. What kind of threats should we expect in the catacombs?
Well, it's actually other groups that tend to make their homes in the catacombs. There's a lot of religious orders and cults that you could describe that live down there. There's also the occasional rumor about ghosts, but I've never seen one.
Well, I think it's fair to say you'll be well protected.
I'm glad.
Gothric's eye starts twitching. You mentioned ghosts. There are ghosts down there.
I didn't say there were ghosts down there. I said there's rumors of ghosts down there.
Okay. Yeah, Gothric just kind of mutters to himself something about rumors almost always being true. And just kind of rocking back and forth with a mug of water.
There's 6 million bodies in the catacombs. There's probably be a few ghosts down there.
Yes, I'm sure there's at least one tortured soul.
You're really not helping this here.
Yes, it is said that if all the dead of the catacombs of Yale were to rise at once, it would outnumber the city 6-1. Well, it would actually be more like 10-1.
Dun dun dun.
Just gonna give an eye. I'm just gonna give an eye to Morna. It's like,
I hope that doesn't happen then.
And when you
Why
find
would
this,
it happen?
and just by just a question, when you find this artifact or item or whatever that has been left behind by your father, what are you planning on doing with it? Are you planning on just returning back to the surface, or are we to delve even further down if you are to find something else?
We'll return promptly, I assume.
I would think so. I mean, I don't know what else we may find down there, but
I would rather not. It's probably ghosts, really. So I would rather not dwell there too long. Longer than we have to.
Very well. Okay. Come back in 3 hours, and I'll be ready.
okay.
Cool. Right, let's go and buy some rations and get a big water thing. Unless anyone else can magically make water. I remember last time.
Yeah, Gira probably can.
Yeah, I know. I was waiting. I was just waiting.
just cleric.
Sorry, I was muted.
Can Gira magically make water and food for us?
Not today, but let's have a look. Let's see if he can.
Otherwise, I won't make us all go and buy big water flasks and rations again. Well, probably not big water flasks.
He can create and purify as separate spells, so potentially yes. Tomorrow.
Okay, cool. Yeah, if you create water, and then we can go and get some rations now. Let's go, team.
Cool.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm probably gonna leave my cake somewhere safe. Like, in the palace.
Oh yeah, we've got 12 donuts. No, we might as well eat them now. They can be our dinner for today.
I kind of have a plan for the cake, but that's up to me.
What are you gonna do with that cake? This sounds scary. I have a plan for this cake. I will not eat it now.
To be fair, if you ate all that cake, you'd probably gain enough weight that you'd be able to survive in the catacombs for weeks.
I don't think that's how it works, Scrimshaw.
Is it not? I thought your
I'd
body's
probably
just
also gain
stocked
enough
up on.
weight to slow us all down quite enough, and then we'd end up wasting more money.
You mentioned crawling. Maybe it's best not to be too buff. Just like look over at Roxon.
What?
And then over to Gira.
So rations. Let's go. I'm gonna leave it in
Okay.
and go to the market and buy some cheap rations.
Yeah, you can get like 10 rations for like 5 rations per gold.
Okay.
So 10 rations, 2 gold, and each ration is a day's worth of food and water.
Okay, I shall take off 2 gold for me for my 10 rations.
Okay.
I'll take off 2 gold as well.
It says I have 15 in my bag, but I feel like that's probably wrong because it's been a really long time since we've actually.
Yeah, I'll do ration.
Yeah, we tend not to really track them like we should.
Nah.
We track them like we should.
Sorry, how many am I doing for the rations?
It's 2 gold will get you 10 rations.
Okay. I'll do that then.
Okay.
That was...
Alright, so you get enough rations and supplies. Are you bringing all your kit as well? Like big bags of stuff?
I'm not going to bring my grenades.
Good shout.
Oh, that's good.
But I don't really have that much other stuff. Or I won't bring. Or maybe won't bring my quarterstaff either because I don't really use it anymore.
I kind of have to bring my guns because that's my thing. So
You could just bring your bows. Bow.
No, Gothric doesn't use bows anymore.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He is purely guns now. And maybe sword if he has to.
I don't really have that much stuff. And there's like my explorer's pack, which I probably would want because it's got my bedroll in.
Okay. Should we stop there then for today, and then next session we'll descend into the catacombs?
Okay.
Okay.
Alright, thanks for coming, guys. Yeah.
Thanks for hosting.